Are we loving the new look? I swear, every time I make a video, I look different. If you be watching my videos. But today is Wednesday, July 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th. I hope somebody cook, y'all. I really want to eat, but not everybody can cook. Anyways, that's what this video is not about. So today I watched a mini series called Take Action, and it's on YouTube, and you can actually look it up. And it was labeled, the title was Overcoming Disappointment. And lately I just been feeling, and I mean, if you feel like this and you can relate, lately I just always be thinking about, and not even just lately, just in general, I'm always thinking about how somebody disappointed me or how I disappointed myself, and I just dwell and dwell and dwell and sit on that thought and be wanting to move forward, but be finding ways to move forward, but it don't work for me. It don't work for me, and I be praying, and you can pray and God will answer your questions and your answers and your prayers, but you have to put in the work as well to do that. So he talked about Luke chapter I think it's 5 section 1 and 2, 3, 4. And it said, basically the story was about Simon, and when Jesus was on the boat with him and they weren't catching no fish. They wasn't catching no fish, and they just kept basically giving God excuses as to why they could not catch this fish. And Jesus was like, try again. After it was like days and days and days that they couldn't catch the fish. And then that one day, when he said just try again, it rose up and they just caught all this fish. And I believe he said it broke. But it was the fact that they had to go in the deep end and they had to get out of the shallow part of the water. And he let them go to the deep end. He's like, no, listen to me. Go to the deep end. And that's when they caught all that fish. And I like the metaphor he used, because I know y'all like, what are we talking about? The metaphor he used was basically, you have to get out of that shallow place and not be scared and go to the deep end in order to get blessings. Right? Perfect metaphor. So I'm gonna just basically read off the notes that I took from that. And so, overcoming disappointment. This is like a prefix. It's opposite of what is appearing. And appointment is like a meeting. So he said you need to call that meeting to not let disappointment rule you anymore. Don't let anxiety rule you anymore. Don't let your anxiousness rule you anymore. Don't let doubt, like all this stuff, sit down and have a meeting with yourself. And your mind is like, no. It says you have to change your thinking. Your thoughts are what's tearing you up. And I truly believe that, because up here, man, I just sitting there thinking like, girl, why are you thinking about that? I literally be telling myself, I rebuke it. I'm like, God, I cast it away to you. I rebuke it. Our minds hold so much energy. So much energy. He said our minds, that's the greatest energy out of everything. So whatever you think is what's going to come out and what's going to take up your day. And I truly believe that, because there will be a day where I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's another day. I have nothing to do. I'm not going outside. I'm doing the same exact thing. But that's what I'm thinking. It's okay to have a routine. It's okay to find new hobbies. And you know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm looking at it, oh, I'm doing the same thing. Okay, find a new hobby. Do something different. You know what I'm saying? Disappointment means basically sadness of the outcome and expectations, right? because something that happened that you thought was going to go this way didn't happen that way. But you have to understand, everything that happens the way that it does, it happens for a reason. And you have to change your thought process. And that's, I be finding myself do that sometimes. I'm like, well, dang, it's no gas in the car. I guess it was no point for me to drive 30 minutes out the way to go get that, and maybe let me just drive 5 minutes up the street and get this instead. Wasn't meant to be. You can be avoiding a car crash, avoiding, all these little things that could possibly happen. So everything that happened is meant to happen. Begin to clean your nets, because the nets can be contaminated, and move forward. It's your time to invest in you. So when he says cleaning the net, he was referring back also to the situation with the fish. He said he wasn't catching the fish. The fish wasn't getting in there. But as soon as he cleaned out the net, the fish came. And basically with that being said, it's just like you have to clean out the bad friendships. Not even the bad friendships, just people who aren't serving you anymore. And that's what I'm going through right now as well. There's a lot of people I feel that I'm like, well, that's an associate, or that's a friend. But when you really sit and think about it, is that somebody you can call on? Is that, you probably can, but if they're not making you better, I feel in this season, it's no point. New season, new characters, they're not helping you get anywhere, basically, is what I'm saying. They're not helping you become the better you and the more improved you. So I agree with that. It's no point. The more you love you, you notice you cut things off that don't love you. Say it again. The more you love you, you cut things off that don't love you. The process hurts, but you have to respect the process. Having confidence in God is respecting the process. Whatever you respect will respect you. Now that one, when it said whatever you respect respects you, now I know there's been in some times where I'm like, I'm giving my all to this person. I'm being genuine. I'm giving love. I'm doing all this, but I'm not giving it back. Why? And I'm thinking it's me. It's them. Don't waste your time. You know what I'm saying? You did right by them. It's not getting reciprocated. Leave. Don't try to hurt yourself and try to figure out and try to beg somebody to accept and treat you right. Been there, done that, and I'm probably gonna do it a few more times in my life, because I'm just a really genuine good person, and I really want to see the good in people. But I cannot ignore the red flags anymore. Like, I'm not gonna play with myself anymore. If you know what I'm saying, first red flag gone. And I've been doing so good with that. I don't waste my time. I don't waste energy. Some things are better left unsaid. And I'm gonna be so honest with y'all, because people know exactly what they be doing. It's a game. It's a game. You learn more often from experiences than what you're being taught. I totally agree. Totally agree. All the bad friend breakups, all the relationships, all the people, like, it's amazing, because I can meet someone that's trying to talk to me, and all they gotta say is probably a sentence, and I'm already knowing, oh, I know where this is gonna go. And I'll be right, because when you've experienced it so many times, or you've experienced hardships and stuff like that, it maneuvers you. Like, this is the problem, this is you. Just going right around it, figuring it out yourself. Cancel out what you know so you can grow. Give yourself time to grow. I agree. You have to change your mind. You can't always think the same. You just have to change your mind, honestly. And that's another thing that I think I am struggling with, letting my old self go. I need to let my old self go, and I also think it's hard because when people put you in a category or hold you up to these expectations and put you in this one box, and your label is that you're just always, well, I have to act like this because that's how they know that I act, or I have to be like this because that's what they know me for, and this and that. No, you don't. No, you do not. Do what you want to do. Be who you truly are. Who cares what other people think? Care what God thinks. Do not care what anybody else thinks. They're not the reason you woke up today. They're not the reason you got food in your mouth. They're not the reason you got this bed. They're not the reason why you got a roof over you. And be rich in life. Social media is so consuming, and I can say that, and I love social media. I love taking pictures, but when you love something more than you love God, He's going to take it away. He's going to take it away. Let that sink in. He's going to take it away. When you idolize things more than you love God, when you idolize things when you idolize God, He's going to take it away. So Simon was giving God excuses, like I said earlier, to why that he couldn't catch the fish. But God told him, like I said earlier, go on the deep end and leave the shallow. You have to leave the shallow, y'all. Like you can't be scared. And I be scared too. It's okay. It's easier said than done. You have to do it. Opportunity will not respect your grief. You can't get stuck in a memory that didn't work because God is working on something new. This one really spoke with me because, like I said earlier, I will sit and it takes me, I think, a month, maybe a week sometimes, depending on what happened to me, and I'll replay until I'm like, okay, I didn't process that happened, you know? And I totally agree. You cannot be sitting stuck, because what is you thinking about that going to do? It's not going to do anything. It's not going to change what happened. And then I'd be doing this. Oh, maybe I should have did this, or I could have done that. I couldn't and shouldn't have done nothing. God let everything play out exactly how He wanted it to play out. And I can't do nothing about it. I can just move forward. That's the only thing I can do. I can accept it and move forward. You've been dealing with shallow people, friends, conversation, and it's time to let go and go on the deep end. Your prayers will help you and will push you into the deep place. God is calling you to the deep. God is going to bring you out of this season of disappointment. Oh, this was my favorite part when He said this. Listen, y'all, listen. He said, a woman is most fertile when she's off her cycle. Because you're moving beyond this cycle of disappointment, you're about to be fertile to every idea, every business idea, every, just anything, that job you wanted, that car you wanted, anything, healing, anything. You're about to be fertile. It's about to be fertile. And what he meant by that was, when, somebody has their period, and if you don't know what fertile means basically you're able to have a baby. So as soon as, usually when people get off of their period, I think they try not to have, intercourse and stuff like that. But, and when you're on your period, what is it? Just, you're sad, you're mad, all this stuff. And then finally when it's over, it's like, yay! And those are all the notes that I got for basically overcoming disappointment. And I really enjoyed watching that mini series. It was only 30 minutes long, so it's not that long. Even when it do be hour long, they have my attention. And I have a very short attention span, because the pastor that I grew up listening to, unfortunately, he doesn't grasp my attention. I get very sleepy. I don't want to pay attention, but when I listen to them talk, it grasps my attention. the metaphors that they use and things like that, I really like listening to it. It really made me want to listen to it. So I hope you guys can take what I said and use it to get over disappointment and just know that God has something so much better for you and so much more beautiful for you, and you don't need to stay in the same cycle or the same bad thoughts that you're in, and just watch how God does his magic for you. And I hope that whoever's watching this, that everything gets better. And I just hope that you just flourish in life and do what you need to do. So yeah, have a great day.